South Korea's hopes to resume talks and family reunions with North Korea have been dashed, with a new round of fiery rhetoric coming from Pyongyang. The Korean real estate market is heating up since the start of the new year, but many buyers hesitate as prices stall. And the Korea Aerospace Research Institute is developing a new weather drone that can soar at an altitude of 20 kilometers for days on end. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Monday, January 26th. I'm Luke Clary. North Korea has opened another round of denunciations and threats against the South Korean government, promising stern punishment for South Korea. It appears that Seoul's plan to resume talks in January and hold reunions for separated families around the Lunar New Year's holiday is going off the rails.
North Korea's powerful National Defense Commission upped its criticism against South Korea by claiming that Seoul is condemning Kim Jong-un's proposal made in his New Year's address.
북남 관계에서의 대전환, 대변혁을 가져오기 위한 역사적 조치들에 계속 도전에 나서는 경우 단호한 징벌로 다스려 나아갈 것이다.
Pyongyang claimed that Seoul has distorted and mocked the sincerity of Kim's proposals by disparaging them as a means to escape economic difficulties and international isolation. The North mentioned U.S. and South Korea's military drill and the spread of anti-Pyongyang leaflets to once again demand the South to change its policy stance.
표현의 자유가 외국인들에게도 적용된다며 불순한 기도를 실현하기 위한 반공화국 모략 행위에 미국 놈들까지 끌어들이고 있는 지경이다.
Experts believe that Pyongyang is putting heavy pressure on Seoul by hinting at chances of changing its course if the situation does not develop the way it hoped. South Korea's Ministry of Unification stated that it is regretful North Korea has distorted, denounced, and even threatened Seoul's willingness to improve inter-Korean relations. The ministry added that Pyongyang should not repeat its one-sided claims and should come to the negotiating table.
The Korean real estate market has been heating up since the start of 2015, mostly on the popularity of newly built apartments. But fewer people are willing to outright buy homes, as home prices are unlikely to rise in the near term. Here's more.
Some 12,000 households are to move into this large urban development complex by next year. Applications to purchase the apartments have already been closed, with an average of 27 applicants vying for each unit.
전세 계약 기간이 끝날 무렵이 되면 항상 그 전세 계약금 때문에 신경 쓰는 일이 많아져가지고 이참에 청약을 하게 됐습니다.
This residential complex in Gimpo, Gyeonggi Province will be available for sale next month, but inquiries are already pouring in. That's because potential buyers are rushing to buy homes in newly built apartment complexes before the qualifications for first priority buyers in the Seoul metropolitan area are eased in March, which will further intensify the competition for new homes. Another factor lies in the skyrocketing apartment rent prices. By contrast, prices of existing apartments that are not subject to rebuilding remained mostly unchanged. Over the past month, prices of apartments subject to rebuilding in Seoul have risen 0.15%, whereas prices of regular apartments rose only 0.04%. However, almost none of the apartments subject to rebuilding were actually sold despite their growing prices. As demand for newly built apartments only continues to rise, construction companies plan to sell at least 300,000 more newly built units this year.
A large tourism complex is being planned near a protected Gumgang pine forest in Euljeon, North Gyeongsang Province. However, environmentalists allege that the project's environmental impact assessment is inadequate, and even local residents are protesting the construction.
This is a Gumgang pine forest in Euljeon, Southeast Korea. It's a protected forest as designated by the Korea Forest Service. But a project to build an extensive tourism complex near the forest is to begin in April. The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism and the Euljeon County government are investing more than $37.1 million in its construction. Concerned that the new facility could damage the environment of the pine forest, local residents are protesting the construction.
환경이 파괴됨으로 해서 임산물이 당연히 줄어들죠. 그게 제일 염려스럽습니다.
Environmentalists have pointed out that the environmental impact assessment conducted prior to the construction was done poorly. This is the Strategic Environmental Impact Assessment Report written up by the Ulsan County government. Although the report says there is little possibility of autogenous growth of wildlife at the site of the future tourism facility, the Ministry of Environment has clearly found the area to be inhabited by endangered mountain goats and otters. The Ministry of Culture, Sports and Tourism plans to discuss the issue with environmental groups and the locals, but narrowing the gap between the two sides does not appear to be easy.
In contrast with the all-male Korea Military Academy, or ROTC, the Korea Army Academy at Yeongcheon now accepts female students. Take a look at their boot camp training.
Young female students clutch their rifles and roll on the ground. Shooting drills are difficult even for male students, but these young women try their best to accomplish them. The Korea Army Academy at Yeongcheon, which provides 2-year courses to train junior officers, accepted female students for the first time since its opening 47 years ago. College graduate Cho Hyun-jung applied to the academy to follow in the footsteps of her father, a military man.
나라를 위해 충성하고 헌신하는 삶이 얼마나 가슴 뛰는 일인지 느꼈고 저도 그런 삶을 살면서 우리나라 대한민국을 지키는 여군이 되고 싶습니다.
Instead of applying makeup or perfume, these women cover themselves with camouflage paint and dust. At first they felt awkward in their military uniforms, but they are gradually getting used to them. These female students won a fierce competition of 48 applicants per spot to join the academy. Some of them graduated from colleges with top honors.
어머니, 아버지 저 잘 키워주셔서 감사하고 딸만 4명, 딸이 4명입니다. 열심히 하고 돌아가겠습니다.
After 5 weeks of boot camp training, these aspiring officers will officially enroll in the academy next month to become second lieutenants when they graduate 2 years later.
It won't be long before we see unmanned aircraft equipped with satellite-grade features for weather monitoring and communication. The Korea Aerospace Research Institute is developing a drone that can maintain an altitude of 20 kilometers for more than 2 weeks.
The slim plane, with big, stretching wings, takes off gracefully. Images taken at 8 kilometers up in the sky clearly show the coastlines and farmland. The unmanned aircraft, developed by the Korea Aerospace Research Institute, set a record last year, flying 25 hours at an altitude of 10 kilometers. It's only the world's second electric-powered drone to do so, next to the one made in the United Kingdom.
구글이나 페이스북에서도 이 비행기를 거의 같은 수준의 비행기를 만들려고 하고 있지만 아직 거기는 비행 시험까지는 들어가지 않은 상태입니다.
The solar cells on the wings generate power and charge the carrier. The key challenge is to lighten the drone with carbon composite materials and equip it with a system that can withstand the extreme cold of tens of degrees below zero. When the drone ascends to an altitude above 10 kilometers, it uses its sensors to measure the wind speed and air pressure. It can monitor weather conditions more precisely than satellites. The Korea Aerospace Research Institute plans to commercialize the unmanned carrier within this year by flying it more than 2 weeks in the stratosphere at an altitude of 20 kilometers.
Cymbidium orchids have been a top export item of Korean floricultural farms, but exports have plunged recently. And to help farmers, Korean researchers have developed a new breed of cymbidiums to enhance their competitiveness.
Yellow cymbidium blossoms burst into bloom. Cymbidium orchids, which symbolize wealth and honor, are a popular gift for the Chinese New Year holiday. In 2010, exports of cymbidium flowers from Korean flower farms to China exceeded $18 million. But demand for the flowers has been declining ever since the Chinese government launched a campaign disparaging luxury. Last year, Cmttee exports to China plunged to approximately $5 million.
수출이 많이 위축이 됐어요. 1월 달 지금 중순부터 수출이 조금씩 이루어지고 있거든요. 그래서 예년에 비해서 한 3분의 1은 줄지 않았을까.
To bolster Cmttee exports to China, Korean researchers have developed 26 new breeds. Most of them come in pastel colors such as light pink to fit China's recently frugal atmosphere. The new breeds are only 60 centimeters tall, significantly shorter than existing ones which surpassed 1 meter in height. This enables farmers to grow more flowers on the same area of land. Export prices of the new breeds were set at half the price of existing ones in a bid to attract more Chinese consumers. It remains to be seen whether the Korean breeds of Cmttee orchids will help reinvigorate exports to China.
Dancing, along with singing, is part of the heart and soul of a musical production, and there are a wide variety of dancers to stage a spectacle. Here's a look at the different types of musical dancers. Let's take a look.
Dancers perform on huge bells dangling from a stunning height. They represent the Hunchback of Notre Dame. The dancers show off their muscular strength with acrobatic moves, so they're called acrobats.
갑자기 뭔가 시너지를 한번 빵 터뜨려주는 그런 역할인 것 같아요. 한번 사람들이 입이 한번 벌어질 수 있는 막 그런 느낌.
By contrast, this performer dances in the dark to the tune of a main character, expressing his feelings through movement. The choreography is based on modern and jazz dancing. Some musicals employ dancers from specific fields like b-boys or ballerinas.
무대가 사실 무용으로만 하기에는 한정적인데 뮤지컬 무대도 경험할 수 있고 다양한 무대를 경험할 수 있기 때문에 좀 많은 가능성이 열려 있는 것 같아요.
Featuring various types of dances, musicals have become more spectacular and entertaining.
A sequel to the mega-hit Korean movie Take Off will be produced. Meanwhile, another domestic movie, Gangnam Blues, is enjoying popularity among moviegoers. This and more on today's entertainment news.
These men gathered as members of South Korea's national ski jumping team without so much as a proper training facility. Take Off was a hit movie about overcoming obstacles to win against the odds. Now a sequel is to be produced. This time the story focuses not on the ski jumping team, but the women's ice hockey team. It will vividly depict the true story of how the women's ice hockey team came to be.
저를 강남으로 옮기면 어때?
Gangnam Blues, which opened on the 21st, heated up the box office over the weekend. Despite being restricted for underage viewers, it topped box office charts throughout the weekend. The film deals with the desire, loyalty, and betrayal among two men over issues of land in the Gangnam district in the 1970s. Singer Park Hyo-shin will release a new song to mark the 15th anniversary of his debut. His agency, Jellyfish Entertainment, announced that the singer will release his third single album, Shine Your Light, next month. The song arrives amid heated anticipation, as Park is known to have worked on it for over 2 years with Andy Platts, lead singer of British band Mama's Gun.
One of the essential ingredients in Korean kimchi is fermented salted seafood called jeokgang. Not only does it help kimchi ferment better, it also adds flavor. Here's more on this unique Korean food.
This market on Gangwon Island in Incheon specializes in fermented salted seafood called jeokgang. The marketplace is crowded with customers who came here to buy jeokgang for their kimchi. Fermented salted seafood is made with all kinds of fishery, including shrimp, anchovies, and yellow croakers. Jeokgang made with shrimp is classified into 3 kinds. One made with the year's early catch, one made with shrimps caught in June, and one made with tiny shrimps salted in autumn.
육젓은 제일 최고로 따지지만 살이 많고 좋지만 이런 걸 김장을 하면은 너무 크기 때문에 굴러다니는 거가 그런 단점이 있어서 갈아서 넣거나 잘라서 넣거나 그래야 돼요. 수젓은 담백하고 덜 짜고 김치 속에서 잘 녹고.
What makes jeokgal an essential ingredient in kimchi? First off, it promotes fermentation and enhances the flavor of kimchi. Some people, however, worry that jeokgal contributes to the excessive consumption of sodium. Here's how to make low-salt kimchi. The most important step is salting the cabbage right. Use as little salt as possible. Make sure to fully soak the cabbage leaves in salty water. Cooking flavorful broth for low-salt kimchi is also important. Use kelp, anchovies, and pepper seeds to cook a rich broth.
고춧가루의 매운맛은 속을 쓰리게 할 수 있지만 고추씨의 매운맛은 단맛이 나면서 매콤하게만 하지 편안하게 해줘요.
Use the broth to make kimchi stuffing. Just 1 spoon of shrimp jeokgal will do. Apply the seasoning gently to the inside of the cabbage leaves. Too much seasoning will make your kimchi too salty. One thing to bear in mind when making low-salt kimchi is that it ferments fast, so make just as much as you can eat in a short period of time. The salinity of low-salt kimchi is 0.8, which is much lower than the 2.3 degrees of regular kimchi. That explains why low-salt kimchi is crunchier. So, how does it taste?
싱겁거나 간이 안 될 줄 알았는데 간도 골고루 배고 아삭하면서 맛있어요. 짜지도 않고.
With a vast array of jeokgal available in Korea, you can choose the right flavor for your kimchi.
Now let's take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.